What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Zigzag Play Along League. Today's episode is the fifth leg of Season 2. First things first, there are the links to play next week's challenge and league match in the description, so you can still join in, it's not too late, and you can still get some medals for the tally. And once again, to win the $15 Steam voucher at the end, all you have to do is be inside my Discord, and be one of the top players, be the top player. So here we have the standings. We have TGBM with a solid lead on 15 points. We have Snorlax, SketchUp, Piver, and Greek Dude. So well done to all of you guys getting some points. And without further ado, let's get into today's matches. So first off, we've got the league segment, which is the one that counts towards the medal tally. So let's go. Let's see how I can do. We got 1 minute 30 per round and no moving. So these are Spanish bollards off the bat. Feels fairly central, I would say. Ooh, interesting to have a yellow speed sign here. I don't think we're in Greece or anything though. But that is really interesting to have a yellow speed sign. But yeah, these are Spanish bollards. Just thinking. Yeah, I don't believe it. It has to be Spain. It's just a really weird speed sign there. So we've got a minute left. It's fairly green, fairly rolling hills. My thought is central. Maybe a bit central south of Madrid there. Honestly, unless we have a kilometer marker there. In fact, we're on a red highway. I wonder if anyone can actually make that out though. It's maybe this looks like it might be 422 if that exists. N422. So let me just. I can't actually read it, but like, yeah, it appears to start with a 420, so maybe it's on the 420 then. Yeah, 432, could it be? Could be. Kind of looks like it ends with a 2, so I've actually had to alter my opinion quite a bit here, so maybe we are on this one. It's one of those ones, I think, so let's give it a go. And no, it was on the N122. Okay, so that makes sense, I guess, but not the best points. Next round. Okay, so we are here in what appears to be Hungary, I would say. And the two reasons I would say for that are this roof, which meets on a straight line in the middle, and also the fact that it's winter coverage. Definitely looking like Hungary here. They've also got that little antenna. So let's see. What can we say? It's pretty flat, which is typical for Hungary. It's quite a flat country. And there's not much else to say, honestly. Hungary looks pretty similar all around, so I'm thinking on this side, maybe on the Croatia side. That's my thought. And it's a bit north of Budapest, but we come through with some decent points there. Okay, next up, we have a single yellow line in the center and a European-style sign here. And with the yellow outside lines, we should be in South Africa, I think, or something like that. We have ocean to the north and the east here. And the sun... now that I say that, I'm not entirely sure. Could this be elsewhere? It doesn't particularly... We don't have any white current. It doesn't particularly strike me as South African now that I say that. It kind of looks more... Well, could it be Israel, I guess? It's too mountainous, though. These yellow outside lines, it kind of looks like Portugal or something, honestly, but we're on this side, so I'm not entirely sure what to think with these yellow outside lines. Let's take a look at what we can see over here. I don't actually think this is what I thought it was. We've got cliffs on the edge here. It's all to the east, so I suppose Greece is possible. With the yellow outside lines, though, it's all very confusing for me. I might, like, hedge and go Sardinia. Try and get some points like that. Could be Corsica even, maybe. Yeah, it's quite nice coverage. I don't know. There's no antenna either, so it's hard to say. We'll see. Okay, it was actually where I had it. That's a shame. So it seems like people actually knew where this one was, interestingly. On to the next one. Yeah, it did look like Spanish architecture in the end. So this is Locan, and it's Japan for obvious reasons. We can see a number of Japanese clues here. The question is where. It's fairly flat. I'm thinking of Tokyo here, honestly. Although, could it be further north or south? This grass kind of seems a little bit tropical. So maybe it's going to be closer. Maybe it's going to be a bit further south. Maybe on here or something. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe around Hiroshima. How about that? I think that kind of encaptures most of what I'm thinking here. And there's no actual highway signs or anything. I can't see any. So let's see how close I am. Okay, nice. That was really close. That was a good guess indeed. So Fool Me Twice moves into first here. And yeah, pretty pleased with that one. And so now we are on to the last round. Here we go. So we do have like a tie pole here, I think. And no antenna, so that would fit with the Thailand hypothesis. It's dead flat, and we've got some stilts houses. Or do we? These ones kind of look like Cambodian houses to me, so I'm thinking the border with Cambodia is kind of likely. This round I would associate with something like between Bangkok and Cambodia. Maybe a bit more up there. Yeah, it's fairly dry as well. Not too many trees. So yeah, that's really my thought at this point. We've even got like some eucalyptus trees here, which is really interesting. So maybe it is further north then. You know, let's see. Okay, wow, it's way out there. Yeah, Thailand's a very tough country for me. So we end up with 20k, so let's see if that put us into the top. I think, because we missed out on the Spain, it will not be the case that we're top 10 here, but let's see. Yeah, we miss out on top 10 just, so let's see the top 15 and see how people have done. Okay, so the Spain one, it seems like everyone in the top 15 got, and the yellow outside lands really threw me, as I said. It had me thinking it was South Africa in the beginning, but a lot of people. This must be a famous spot. I mean, it's near Valencia, was it? Yeah, it's near Valencia, but yeah, it seems like everyone knew, which is really interesting. My Corsica guess kind of seems silly in hindsight. Then with the Spain one. Unfortunately, I misread this one, the 432 instead of the 122, so that's how that went. The Hungary one, everyone got, apart from a couple of Bulgarians, but I think the architecture was pretty Hungarian. And then, yeah, the Thailand, basically everyone got. One India guess, interestingly, and one Cambodia, but yeah, everyone pretty much guessing south of it. A couple of good guesses there. And then we did have this Japan one where I was one of the closest, actually probably about second closest there, so pretty pleased with that, but a lot of guesses near Tokyo. It's just a little bit more southern feeling to me, but in the end it's not actually that much further south than Tokyo, so you know, maybe it was a bit of luck. It probably normally is with Japan, but that's it for that, so thanks for playing along. Let's see everyone who played actually before we move on. So there was a couple of 23,000s there, pretty impressive stuff I would say. And it was 69 people who played, so very nice, and thank you. Oh, let's do the Wooden Spoon Award. Let's see what the bottom two players were looking like today. I'll just get rid of myself as well there. Okay, so the bottom two players, the top Spain one, there was a Chile guess and a Mexico guess. Fair enough. I think the thing to keep in mind there was that there was white centerline, so it couldn't have been Mexico. And then we did have, for the Thailand, we had a Brazil guess and a Romania guess. Interesting. The Japan one, both players got. That's impressive, but, you know, Japan is one of the easier nations, I suppose. For the Hungary one, the Teletubby man, he did a good job getting in Bulgaria. Must have known the winter coverage. And then an Estonia guess as well. Not terrible, I would say. And a Greece guess for the Spain, as well as an Aussie guess. Wow. Yeah, that I don't quite understand, but you know, that's why it's called the Wooden Spoon Award, I guess. So Spoon Award, I guess. So let's move on to Extraordinary World. Can't remember who. I think I just made this one myself. So if you want to suggest a map, please do in the comments. But let's get straight into it. Okay, Extraordinary World. What have you got for us? This is unofficial coverage, and this one really reminds me of Jordan, I have to say. It kind of reminds me of near Petra or something from the images I've seen of that. So I think that's where I'm going to guess. It's pretty deserty. Where is Petra, actually? I guess it must be near Amman. Maybe, but I'm thinking maybe further down here. Maybe there. That kind of like encaptures most of what I'm thinking. It could also be in Iran or Saudi Arabia or somewhere down here as well. Okay, that's pretty good. It's actually out in Egypt. Kind of makes sense in the end though. But Geoholic pulling a very nice guess there. Well done, my friend. Yeah, I guess that desert does look pretty Sahara with those nice sand dunes. Alright, let's see what this next one is. Some more unofficial coverage. We have a nice dog. Good boy. Give him a pat. So let's see what we got going on. So we do have white number plates. They're short. Interesting. Kind of feels Asian to me. We have a steeple there of some kind. Could be a church, could be a monastery, or some kind of monk house or something like that. We got lots of pines, so I'm thinking this could be like it's more northern than most of Southeast Asia, but this lake kind of looks Southeast Asian. So I guess I'm thinking like northern Vietnam, southern China. Although I can't. Yeah, I don't know. In China they got blue number plates, so I don't think this is actually China. So maybe northern Vietnam on some kind of lake or something like that. Could even be somewhere in there. Could be Myanmar too, I guess, or Laos. One of those three, I think, is what I'm thinking with all these pines. And the motorbikes as well, quite Southeast Asian. Okay, it is Vietnam. Quite a bit further south, though. So, yeah, I pulled decent points, but the Thailand guesses end up being a bit better. Surprising amount of pine trees, because I don't really feel like you'd see those in Thailand or Cambodia so much. Maybe in Cambodia sometimes. Okay. Next up, we are out here in the mountains. What's this architecture look like? So, these ladies got some that's like made out of some old shipping containers almost, looks like. Yeah. I don't really know. These mountains are definitely tall, so it should exclude a number of places. Yeah, is it Balkan or something with mountains like this? This is tough. Doesn't really... Well, where's the sun? The sun appears to be just rising, so I can't quite tell. We've only got 40 seconds left. This is a toughie, I have to say. Let's get into the maps here. So, could it be Syria with these mountains here? Syria is a possibility. Cyprus is a possibility. Now, I hadn't thought of Cyprus, but that is a possibility. Yeah, could also be Turkey, Greece, Albania. I like Cyprus actually, because then it gets all these countries here which I'm thinking of, and I just have a hunch, man. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it's actually Armenia. Really nice guess by Hugo there. I'm guessing a bunch of people guessed in Europe there, because we've moved into the leaderboard. But yeah, Hugo, well done getting Armenia. Yeah, when you're playing these rounds, you can actually see the name of the person who's uploaded the image down here. So, the last one I couldn't, but I glanced at the name and I couldn't tell at all where the name was from, so it must be an Armenian name. Very interesting. This one's by Aratun. Of course, they can be bait, though. Sometimes you have a European name visiting another country or something like that. This one's very interesting. Rolling green mountains. Also looks quite similar to the last one. So could be Caucasus or something, I suppose. That is in my mind now. It almost looks like Scotland as well, or something as well. But I think it's too. The grass is a bit too Mediterranean, or a bit too warm weather looking for me. There's some trees. So I'm thinking anywhere from like northern India all the way up to, well, it could be somewhere like northern India, but it also could be somewhere like, yeah, Azerbaijan or something. It's very green. Yeah, what about Azerbaijan again, honestly? Where else could it be, realistically? Could be... Yeah, it kind of reminds me of this area as well. With the amount of greenness, maybe I should be going India here. Can't really tell from the buildings, honestly. I'm going to go for India. I think it gets green up here. Ah, man, it was in Armenia again. What are the chances? And a bunch of people taking the hint and guessing it again. Well done. That's a bit of a... I dropped the ball a bit there, for sure. This poll's interesting. Is it Turkish, I'm wondering? Something Middle Eastern, presumably, with the surroundings, but this is a... It's hard to really see. We got some pomegranates growing here. Feels Middle Eastern, definitely. But it's fairly green. Could be Africa too, now that I'm thinking of it. Could be Africa too. Ooh. So, it could be like... Eritrea or something, I guess. It could be... like... I'm trying to think, like, Syria? Somewhere in Iran? Could even be like Chad or Sudan. I mean, this is a toughie. There's not much to go off of, to be fair. Just this power line and this vegetation. But I kind of like Eritrea. What about somewhere around there? Okay, it's actually in Algeria. Yeah, it was very dry. But I'm happy that I at least got Africa. So there's got some national park in here. But actually, I'm surprised that there was so much vegetation all the way here in the middle of the Sahara. So we got 11k. I mean, we were almost every time in the right region. But these Armenian ones were... they were the real downfall of the round, I would say. So we got 11k. Let's see how everyone else ended up doing. So, wow, we had a number of people playing along here. A 28, that's a big bump up from last time. But I think because these rounds were so tough, we'll just look at the top 5. But yeah, thanks very much everyone for playing along. Definitely some tough rounds in there. Okay, so for this Algeria one, we had Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, Eritrea, even in Iraq. So some great guesses there. When I say some great guesses there, some decent guesses there. Nothing quite measured up to the actual location. Then we of course had the Egypt one, and we had Yemen, we had Saudi Arabia, we had my Jordan guess. Actually, me and Hugo right on top of each other there. Yeah, the one good Egypt guess, which is impressive. Then for these Armenian ones, spread all over the shop. So for this green, me and Hugo were thinking more out in this mountain range here. I forget what it's called. Himalayas, I guess. Start at the Himalayas. And then for this other one, we had Turkey, Cyprus. We had even a USA guess. Wacky. Yeah, and then some more in the Caucasus there. So, and then, yeah, of course, for this Vietnam one, we had 2 of us in Vietnam, but completely getting the wrong spot, and then a bunch in Southeast Asia. So that is it for the play along, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Do suggest a map for next week if you would like to see that one coming up. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys all playing along in the next one. And peace.